family car. Fam train is leaving the station. Chugga, 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 chugga.
This is our first time recording
in a really long time.
Just us.
Yeah. I mean, months.
Months. And
months.
And we love it when it's just us.
Oh my God. We love everything, but when it's just us, it feels really special.
I know. And I feel like we need to get our mojo going for season 2.
I mean, season 2 is just in April. Let's just say April.
Anyway.
And everyone's hitting us up on Twitter. Mm-hmm. And I've just been responding April. So it's like, don't
I know.
Hate us if Family Karma doesn't come on in April. Okay, we're just the messengers.
We just take what we hear and we make it real.
This is who we are, okay? And we're the owl in Harry Potter. Harry, it's we're just delivering the news.
We are. And you know what? The rumor is April, and so we're gonna hold out hope for April, and that's that.
So the reason why I wanted to record, we've been kind of talking a while because we haven't seen each other in a week.
In a while.
Which is a long time for us.
We're usually on a Skype call or Zoom call 1 to 2 times a week.
We're Skyping, we're texting, we're text. Although we had a touch base text wise about Jersey, Jersey Housewives. And can I just say, I know this is not affiliated with Family Karma or South Asian. I wanted to text you and I was like, I'll just talk to you in person. And now we're recording. Dolores's marks on her body.
Oh, from the butt lift and that is.
And the tummy tuck. I was
do those go away?
I'm guessing so as someone who's super into lasers, I'm guessing she's gonna have them lasered off. So they'll do the cuts and then they'll just laser that off.
I could never do that.
I know. Well, it's I forget if it was her ex-partner or her new partner who said you look like a fillet.
Yeah, it was her new sexual partner.
It was tough. But what I really wanted to talk to you, so I've moved to Denver, so I'm kind of driving by music venues that usually Indra and I go to. Mm-hmm. We see live music, which of course shut down. Yeah. So I was driving past the Fillmore today in Denver, and it was it's all digital now because
the marquee is digital.
The marquee, yes. And I see a picture of Pokemon, and I'm like, Pokemon? Is Pokemon
in town one night only?
Pokemon. I was like, okay, and then I was thinking, if you told me Pokemon was playing, would I legit? And I was like, oh fuck yeah, I would get super probably hammered, and we go see Pokemon in concert. But it turned out it was a Pokemon concert featuring Post Malone. And it's a virtual concert.
Wait, so people would go to sit and watch a screen?
I think you watch it virtually, but how do Post Malone and Pokemon... This is the Lord's work.
Somebody knows. Someone knows.
Think of what you think of if I don't believe in the Lord, but think of what you think the Lord's work is. No, it's not what you think. It's sitting through the Pokemon and Post Malone concert.
Okay, I'm going to do some research after this. And absolutely, if you are out there, Karma fan, and you know what is going on with us,
sign me up. Indra, are you interested?
You know what? It's been almost a year of COVID. I'm ready for anything.
I'm ready for
literally
Pokemon
anything.
And Post Malone. Okay.
Oh my God. Oh God. Okay, guys.
What a time to be alive.
What a time to be alive.
What a time.
Not speaking of, this week we are finishing up our recaps of the fabulous lives of Bollywood Wives, and I loved these last 2 episodes.
Well,
honestly.
So this is what happened to me.
Okay.
Andrew walks in and I'm taking notes for school, and it's on in the background. He was like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm studying and watching the show. He was like, is this where your tuition money is going? And I said, yes, it is, sir. It is going to my love of pop culture.
Here's what I have to say is like, you are almost 40 years old and you can do whatever the fuck you want.
I might as well also, if we're going to do it all, like have a plate of pasta next to me.
Yes.
You know, you're my pasta girl. You're my Oreo girl.
Yes. Oh my God.
No, you love
Oreos.
ice cream.
I love ice cream, but I love Oreos more.
So what's your go-to right now? Because we always check in about our sweets.
Oh gosh. You know what? I've been trying to like not eat as many sweets lately, but like I could eat a brownie with vanilla ice cream on it.
Okay, talk to me. Does it have to be
any
warm
day.
or no? It doesn't even matter.
Preferably warm. I mean, that's the best. How about you?
Well, now that I live close to Voodoo Donuts.
Shit.
Oh, I had it, instead of the Boston cream, they call it the Portland cream.
What does that mean?
It's just the Boston cream, but Voodoo Donuts.
Is that your donut?
No, the Homer is my donut.
And what is that?
The Homer is the strawberry, frosted.
Yeah.
Just the donut, strawberry, and then sprinkles.
That's like the classic donut you see in like the emoji.
Right. It's the emoji.
The emoji donut.
So and then I found out that they do birthday cakes as the Homer donut. So I'm thinking like for my birthday, when we go to Palm Springs.
I'm telling everyone now, May 5th, hit up Deanna on social media for her 40th birthday.
Send me an eggplant sprouting water into a donut. That's how you know it's my birthday.
Yes. All right, guys. So let's talk about the episodes.
Let's talk about
because this is the 7th and 8th episode, the end of the season. We know that Fabulous Lives of Bollywood Lives is getting a season 2 because they've been filming.
They're filming right now.
I think they might be filming right now. I definitely know they were filming like a month ago or 6 weeks or 2 months ago. So I don't know how long it takes, but like India is like open,
It's open for business.
It's open. Like they never really locked down that successfully to begin with, I think. God. But also like weirdly enough, their numbers are like have been a lot lower than you would think they would be for such a populated country.
Are people following the rules there, like unlike here?
No.
Okay.
Not from what I can tell. I mean, but there's some theories that like because a lot of people in India have like gotten and recovered from like different illnesses that we don't deal with in America or in other parts of the developed world, that like they have more natural immunity to COVID.
Oh God, don't say that to the anti-vaxxers. Jesus fucking Christ.
Well, it's like they got TB and now they're okay. Yeah. It's like, I know. So, but anyway, so they're totally filming and like, at the end of the
and if you think about it, theirs is so much easier to film than our housewives because they basically go over each other's apartments and they're not around.
They just like chat.
I have so much to say about where do we want to start?
Well, okay, let's try and do it somewhat sequentially, but we can if stuff comes up, just say it. So episode 7, they're still in Doha on their trip. They're all freaking out because at the end of the previous episode, the stalker guy had just sent Neelam a drink.
This is tough.
And she was like,
he's a stalker. Right? I was like, what? So I could be in media.
But then he explains himself.
He does what? I run a Twitter account. Does that mean I'm in media?
I know. I'm like, so did you ever actually like link up? It doesn't. Like, no, it's like you drop it. You give your card if you're like from a production company.
Did he mention the production company?
Only by the pool. By the pool when he's like, this is the last time I'm going to bother you. And by the way, the reason I've come up to you so many times is because I'm part of a production company and we know about your show and we want to like collaborate. And it's like,
so
you would have given her your card instead of asking for a selfie. Yeah, like they brushed it off, but I was like,
I think it was weird. She also said in all her years of being an actress, she's never experienced this.
I don't believe that.
Her world is very small.
It is.
If that's the case.
It is. But it's also like, that she has been through some shit being...
Oh, when she was crying at the end, I have some theories.
Okay.
But we'll get to that. We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
I really want to know what you think. So they were in the like red room watching the old Bollywood films.
Mahip was so... I mean, she's still so hot.
Yeah.
She was like... How wonderful did she look?
She looked amazing. And so did Neelam.
Neelam was so cute.
And the thing about Neelam, she gets major respect points for me because she is clearly a like amazing dancer.
Right. Talk to me about that.
Well, like... So you could just tell in her films that like she had the moves and she like kind of had that it thing, which like I haven't seen her movies, so I didn't really know what that was. But we got a glimpse of that and it was like, okay, this is why everyone is making such a big deal about her. And I was finally to the point where I'm like, yeah, actually she should maybe do another movie, you know?
Interesting.
Like, because I think she is really talented. But like, yeah, it was just nice to kind of see her like throw out some moves and like show that like
it was really
it was cute. I liked it.
She does give off that she's this really interesting, fragile, like there's a little fragility to it, but then there's this very hard wall.
Well, okay, let's talk about what were they referring to at the end with like, you know, when I went through that big thing, which I'm not going to talk about here, when she was talking to Shah Rukh Khan and Gauri, and she was like, you guys really helped me through it.
Well, it's interesting how private she is.
I know, and I'm kind of like, is this going to work with this show going forward? Or like, are they...
It is, because I actually, when I jumped back into it, because I just watched Jersey... where Teresa was just going around
telling lies, just like lying.
Just saying like at someone's... Okay, so for people that aren't watching, this Teresa, who everyone knows, like is at this man's birthday party whose wife is a housewife, and she's just telling everyone that he's having an affair on her, like just straight up, just going up to tables and being like, he's having an affair.
And I'm seeing all over social media that she just totally made it up to stay relevant because she's...
Are you serious?
Because the franchise, the Real Housewives franchise as a whole, is getting rid of OG Housewives, and she wants to stay relevant. So... But that's not the vibe on Fabulous Lives of Bollywood Wives.
No, and so I was watching. That's why I was taking notes in watching it, because I was like, what am I watching? I'm like, what are they doing? Like, and it's nice, fluffy, because they're not getting into anything.
No, and like the thing is, so then I Googled it to find out, like, what did Neelam go through?
Talk to me.
And the only thing I could find is that before she married Samir, she was in a relationship with this guy called Bobby Deol, who is like another big Bollywood guy. And they were together for 5 years and something happened. I think she's referring to like a breakup, basically. Like a hard breakup.
An era. Yeah,
but
I could see that.
I'm kind of like, that's not a big deal. Like, that's not scandalous. Like, you can share that. You know what I mean?
She seems like she's so fragile, like I said, but she's behind a wall.
Well, I think
that you never get
I
to.
think part of that is cultural too, right? Like, I think that like Indian people, like, you know, they'll talk shit behind people's backs all day, but like being like the fact that she's even on this like very public show and like showing her inner life is like a big step, I think. Something that you know, most, I think, Indian people would think twice about. Like, how much do I really want to share about my inner life with these people? And I think that that's reflected in this show. Like, when people criticize the show for not kind of showing enough, I think it's like, well, this is what these women were willing to share at this time.
I'm going to ask a question.
Yeah.
So do you think South Asian audiences are more willing to accept what they're given with this show versus an American audience who is just filled with Dolores cutting up her body, Teresa just going to prison?
I think so. Yeah. And I think what it offers South Asian audiences who like actually know these people
Right.
and like look up to them in tabloids and stuff like that, is like, this is a glimpse into their inner life. Like Shah Rukh Khan sharing as much as he did in this last episode.
He was so charming.
Yeah, like he is.
I was like, I can tell this. We know nothing. I know nothing about him. I was like, this guy's a star.
But okay, so I've told you about him before, and I don't blame you for...
Before we even started, like at the beginning of this podcast.
When I was like a teenager, he was the biggest Bollywood star, hands down. Like, he is Bollywood royalty.
He's like Brad Pitt.
Yes, 100%. George Clooney, Brad Pitt.
Yes, he's like a George Clooney more so than a Brad Pitt.
So the fact that he's on this show and they devoted like most of the last episode to him.
Right.
Because Indian audiences, South Asian audiences, they want to know who he is really like. They want to see him in his natural skin just talking to these women.
And he's so poised.
It was so polished, right? I'm like, how?
And he's married to
an ice queen.
Mariah Carey, South Asian cousin.
Is that?
Did you get that?
I was trying to figure it out.
She looks like Mariah Carey in South Asian costume.
Okay,
is that inappropriate to say?
Her attitude, though? Like,
is she have an attitude, or is that just, you know what? It was very interesting to me is she let him have the floor, and I can tell what their relationship is like.
A lot of him talking in her.
It's him. I mean, the relationship, and that's why she throws the parties and blah, blah, blah. Because so I think I've mentioned this on the show before. And like, so I was actually watching this, I'll never forget, in high school. And I was watching this Oprah episode. And it was the Oprah episode were wives of.
Okay.
And it was basketball players, like before all this, because this was the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll never forget, like, watching Lance Armstrong's first wife.
Wow.
And she was just talking about, when you're married to Lance Armstrong, you got to be Lance Armstrong's wife. Like, more than, it defines you, and you're there for him. Like, your life is whatever he needs to do. You're just like, he's the earth and you're just the moon going around.
But so what's interesting is that you see that in Gauri Khan, and yet these other women are like, Gauri Khan is the example of one of us who has not let her husband's star overshadow her. Like, she has her own thing. But you don't really see that so much when he arrives. It's like... And
we all, I think, know these couples. It's like, I wouldn't want to be married to them.
No.
Because it's like, I want to share, it's not a spotlight, but I want to like just share a life and not be someone's orbiting around someone.
That's interesting. I sort of have a different read on them. I feel like they are this like power couple. And like...
100%.
And like... But I did see this like dynamic, especially like Shah Rukh Khan sitting across from all these women, just like talking at them. And I'm like, okay, like this is a real example of like the gender sexism issue that like women experience everywhere, but it's even more pronounced in India, I would say.
Well, that's what I was looking at, because he holds court, right?
Yes.
It's like the king holding court, and it's like the queen's gonna sit next to him and kind of smile. She wasn't even smiling. And all of the I don't know what the people who are hanging out in the castle are gonna, when the king talks, you're gonna listen. And the thing is he is a little bit like a lighthouse, right? And I'm using this lighthouse analogy because I heard it in a podcast, Bitch Sesh, is when he shines his light on you.
Yes.
You are the center of the whole bay, of like that part of the ocean. And so you could tell they were just like, I can't believe he's like talking about me. And that's when it really hit me. No matter what people have told me about him, I was like, oh, this guy's like such a big deal.
You can 100% see it. Yeah, another interesting thing was also like when Karan shows up in Doha and they have that lunch on the helipad.
Oh, that gave me such anxiety.
But I feel like it was the same thing. Like, here's this man walking into the situation.
That's a really good
And he's kind of
point.
just like telling all the women what to think and feel.
That's exactly. Wow. Yeah.
And I was like, okay, this is a dynamic that is like common. Like, these are high-powered women who, like, they don't need their husbands. Like, Neelam doesn't need her fucking husband.
No.
But, like, yet there is this expectation that, like, your husband is the lighthouse and you are kind of like in the bay.
Yeah. And it's hard because it's like just thinking back of what you're saying.
Yeah.
When Karan comes in initially, he pits them against each other.
Yes. And then now he's like, well, it's like a therapy session almost, like I'm the puppet master and I'm like kind of.
That's actually a really good point. And it's tough seeing that dynamic now that we're talking about it. Because like you said, we have these like really strong women who are really independent, but we're seeing, because I love in like, especially in Beverly Hills, in Beverly Hills Housewives, they're like, fuck your husband. And fuck you. You know, your husband's not going to tell me what's going on.
100%.
Like, how many house husbands have we seen told off?
Yes.
In actually all the housewife franchises.
Well, okay. I'm glad you brought up Beverly Hills because...
Okay, talk to me. I can always talk about Beverly Hills.
Gauri Khan was giving me major Kathy Hilton vibes. Major Kathy Hilton vibes.
The room shut down and everyone...
Like, she was, like, silent and stoic, and yet you knew she was there the whole time. Like, her presence was felt and she was barely talking. You know what I mean?
And we've talked in Gossip Calling podcasts or other podcasts that's been put on hold. We've talked extensively.
Yes.
We both came to the conclusion at the same time that Kathy Hilton has always been in the house.
She has always been there.
Think about it. She's been... Like, I'm really thinking, like, episode 1, season 1, Kathy Hilton.
Yes, she was there the whole time. And so
she's been there.
And it's the same dynamic with Gauri because she obviously was asked to be on this show. She's friends with all these women. And she says to Karan, I said, no way, I'm not doing it. And yet she's still this presence. Like,
she's there.
For the past few episodes, we've been like waiting in anticipation of this party that she's going to have, you know? And then we finally get introduced to her and it's like, she is the hottest shit ever and whatever, you know? It's like, and she doesn't say
no offense,
anything.
I didn't get party vibes. Like, I got the step and repeat that they did, but it was like, I don't know. It's just like, even at Denise Richards' like party, when she had the party, she had an ice sculpture.
Yeah, I mean, there was probably stuff there that we didn't see. Like, one thing I appreciate about this show is that, like, there's a bit of the glitz and glamour for sure, but like, I feel like they really do try to like kind of show these authentic conversations that are going on. Like, I thought it was really sweet when they showed the daughters like Ananya and Shania speaking.
Oh my
with
God,
the
they're
moms.
so cute. I want to be them. How adorable and gorgeous are they?
So we're not getting a ton of drama on this show, sure, but like we are getting these like little sneak peeks into what these women's lives are really like. And I think that South Asian audiences want to see that. And I think American audiences are like, I need fights. I need drama. I need like ridiculous behavior. And it's like,
I know.
If that's what you want, like, you're not going to get that from this show.
Well, go on the Bad Girls Club.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, but that's the funny thing is like, I can't watch the Bad Girl. You know, those kind of extreme.
Yes. Where it's just like, I mean, honestly, the season premiere of New Jersey was kind of like, whoa.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we
hot.
jumped into that.
Oh, my God. Okay, but I want to know, do you think Shah Rukh Khan is hot?
Yes.
Okay, because he is like...
I'm attracted to every single one of them, though. I mean, I'm attracted to Chunky. I was looking at Chunky.
Chunky was looking good.
His style is wild. Don't you agree? When he showed up to that step and repeat in that red carpet, I was like, what are you?
Oh my God, with the bag, the brown bag with the
and
shoes.
then he's wearing an Oxford shirt with eyes on it and like two swords.
Oh my God. I did love seeing Neelam's husband, Samir, like
I think
kind
he's
of
attractive.
let loose a little.
And the fact that he knows people's sign is like
astrological sign.
that was wild.
He was so proud of it too. And
but then we
like,
didn't
wow.
say Mahip's.
Sanjay wasn't in this episode.
No.
You're right. But he was in a lot of the other. And that was another thing that they alluded to that they didn't really get into is like Karan was like, Mahip, you had a really tough time in the media.
Yeah, I want to know more about that. Yeah.
So it seems to me that Mahip and Sanjay like took a bunch of heat in Bollywood at some point for something. They did mention nepotism.
And email us, Family Karma Cast.
Yeah, Raj Vaswani, we know that you know, so will you tell us?
Oh my gosh, I would love to know.
Monica's dad, who joined us on the last one, which was fantastic.
Who knows who all these people are? I think
he knows all of them.
I think we should watch a Neela movie and do one of. And again, unclear which one we should watch.
I'll ask my mom. She might know.
Do you think she knows who Neelam is?
Definitely. I mean, it seems like she was like the it girl for a little while. Okay, so one thing I wanted to do, which I know some people like roll their eyes at this, but I kind of want to, now that we've seen the whole season, we know the women.
Whole season. Mm-hmm.
What is the like Sex in the City comparisons?
Wow. Okay, so we got to know that I always see Sex in the City as, it's Carrie, and then it's the head is Miranda. The heart is
Charlotte.
What's her name? Charlotte. And then the sex is Cynthia. I'm not getting sex from any of them.
Sex is Samantha, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, no, yeah, who's the sex? Maybe like Seema is.
I think Mahip's the person.
Mahip is like, yes. Mahip is Carrie. Bhavana is absolutely Charlotte.
Yes.
Neelam is, I don't think any of them are Miranda.
No.
I think Seema might be Samantha, though.
I think Neelam might be Miranda just because she's a businesswoman. Like, you can tell that.
Did you love the part when Karan was like, why should I watch this show? Like, you women don't do anything.
Right. And that's when I was like, why am I mean, not that I was like, why am I watching this show? And I was like, yeah, I mean, they're not doing anything, but it is like, for me, is like, I love glitz and glamour. Like, I just love sparkle glitter. Like, I was the person who loved that show, Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous, with Robin Leach. And this is like Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous, but in India, I
am just so curious to see where they take it with season 2. Having all the feedback, like knowing that international audiences are watching it, like what changes will they make? Like, will they dive deeper into these backstories? Like, is Gauri Khan going to be more a part of it? Will they bring new wives?
Wait, do you think Gauri Khan is hot?
Oh, Shah Rukh Khan or Gauri Khan?
Sorry, Shah Rukh Khan.
Shah Rukh Khan, yeah. I think he's attractive, but he's never been my like number one. I feel like he always looks like he's smelling something bad. Like his nose is a little like.
He looks like
his face is like scrunched all the time.
Funny. Did you think there was like a couple people at the party that I wish we were watching it together? Because I was like, because I'm obviously attracted.
Those young guys?
Yeah, because I was like, does Indra think these guys are hot? Because I'm like attracted.
Yeah, no, I did think.
There was a taller guy.
And I was like, can you put the little thing on the screen and tell me who that is?
Right,
like,
so we can know, like, right.
Because those people invited to this exclusive party are like part of the Bollywood scene, or they're up and coming or something, like... So I wish they had told us more, but I feel like there's a lot of potential here with the girls, like their daughters too, to bring their stories in a little bit more.
I think so. And I'd watch that.
Oh my God.
I'd watch, of course, this in a second, but I'd watch that in a second.
I want to see what those girls are doing. Like, what happens to them when they go out?
Do you think they have bodyguards?
Yes, 100%. I mean, they're like royalty practically because of their parents, and And when they're all together, it's like this, it's like it's like Paris Hilton and like, it's like that situation, bringing it back to the Hiltons. But
like, it's like, this is the stuff, this is how, like, for me, as someone who loves pop culture and someone who is white and someone who lives in America, this is how I'm learning about a different culture.
Yeah, totally.
Like when you talked about, and I was like, why do their apartments look like offices? And you're like, oh, well, because everyone lives in apartments. And that's something like,
yeah,
I guess if I really thought about it, I would know, but it took me like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, if you've never been there, how would you know? And like, one of the nice things about like TV and whatever is being exposed to these different cultures and way that people do things. And especially during COVID, when it's like, I can't actually be there, so show me, like, teach me something new,
And do you think that they all have houses all over the place, right?
I'm sure they all have like vacation homes in the mountains and whatever. There's definitely like, I think throughout the show, from the first episode, and we talked about this, but to the end with like Neelam speaking French to that guy by the pool, like,
that guy was hot too.
He was hot, but it's like, there is this aspiration towards whiteness, and not just like color of skin whiteness, but like the European Eurocentric idea of like white culture, as that being like, we need to aspire towards this, which is like, it's a pandemic, like everywhere in the world we experience that like level of wanting to aspire to that, which is really dangerous. But I think it was really pronounced in this show.
It was, yeah. I noticed because everyone was saying where they were born and educated.
Yes. And it's like, it's so interesting to see the top of the top in India still kind of aspiring towards this thing. Like, it just kind of reveals the human condition that we are all in our head, and like, no matter how much people revere us and think we're great, like, we still doubt ourselves, and there are like ingrained social societal like constructs that like bring us down still, that like affect us and make us act in certain ways and things like that, even though it's like everyone in India like would kill to be these women, like would kill to have their lives. And yet you said, like, I think that was another cool thing about the show, was sort of seeing their inner insecurities, even as like, you roll your eyes a little bit when they complain about like being scared of plastic surgery or whatever, but it's like, but they do have some real things that they've gone through. It's like, they are people still. So it's sort of interesting to see what those are. And I think that like, that's the same in the US. That's one of the reasons I like the Housewives here, is like, I like to kind of see like, what are the trials and tribulations of like this elite upper class existence? Well,
it's like the crack in the China, right?
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
And I think, especially just, I'll go back to the Britney Spears documentary and how we don't take care of our pop stars and our female celebrities. And it's a miracle, I want to say, that Neelam is as level-headed and grounded as she is, because I'm sure we've seen from little comments in the show and in Bollywood, and of course in Hollywood, we destroy women. I mean, we destroy women across the globe in all different roles.
Yeah.
But these women that other women are looking up to try to, that aspire to. The fact that we destroy them. And that's our goal as a society, and absorbing this media. I mean, and just thinking about that, like I said, Neelam is like, she's all these kind of like, she has a wall, and she kind of like puts her hand in front in a way, and like puts you back as soon as you feel like you're getting closer. But like, kudos to her, right?
Totally, yeah. And
that has saved her.
What's ironic about that too, though, is like, you could argue that she has protected herself because she made that choice like all of these women did. Like Maheep was saying, I got married and had children and my career took a backseat at that point. Like that's when things slowed down for me because I prioritized my family. And like us, like me looking at that, I'm like, you gave something up, you know, like
right.
You like sacrificed your career, but in some ways, maybe that's what's kept them grounded and out of that like spiraling place where like Britney Spears, like,
oh my
she was able to date
was...
whoever she wanted. She started a family with Kevin Federline. And like, of course, she dealt with a ton of sexism and unfairness and everything around that. But like her doing all those things, it wasn't like Kevin Federline could say to Britney, like, okay, I'm your backup dancer, but now I'm your husband. So you have to like stop your career and it's over. It's like, that would never happen in America. Do you know what I mean? Like,
but like in the same sense, like these women were maybe protected. And like, I don't know, I'm studying right now how like I can't really, like we maybe shouldn't make generalizations for what works for me as a white American woman. My priorities are this. So who am I to say a woman living in India, because of her cultural values, like putting her family first? It's actually really beautiful. And it's like,
yes.
And in a way, it's like I said before, maybe her husband like protected her and she's looking back and she's like, well, I wasn't, XYZ didn't happen that happened to this starlet, you know?
Well, and I would love to hear from them a little bit more, like how they really feel about that. Like Maheep says, like, they're like, Maheep, why didn't you continue? You were so hot. You were so great as an actress. And she's like, well, I wanted to have Shania. I wanted to start my family. But it's like, I would love to take that question one step further. Like, and how do you feel about that decision? Like,
right.
Are you happy that you did that? Like, obviously she's happy she had Shania and all that and whatever. But it's like, do you wish you could have done your career at the same time? Like, do you wish you had waited a little longer to start a family? Like, I wonder what they think. And we didn't get really the answers to that, I don't think.
Right.
Which maybe they'll get into that in the next season. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I loved it. I thought it was a great show.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's just like, you know what? You have these shows and you put them on and you cut your vegetables and you do something else. And that's what the Housewives are, you know, the Bollywood Housewives and our Housewives, the Bravo ones in America. And that's what you do. And and you visit, it's like visiting old friends.
Yes.
And especially with this, the stakes are so low. So you're not getting highs and lows like the Housewives, and there's something to say about that.
Yeah, it's kind of refreshing, honestly. It's like, this is the first time I've seen like a Housewives situation where they went on a trip and there wasn't like an insane fight drama, like Salt Lake City, like Vegas,
who gets what
like
room?
What the
my god. Mary falling off. No, it wasn't Mary. It was Jen falling off.
Oh my gosh.
The bar.
So I think that's like, we are definitely going to recap season 2 whenever it drops.
And we have to talk about, so there was a poodle with a diaper on, which I can't believe.
I missed that. When?
When they were over at, I think it was Seema's house and Maheep, they were arguing over.
The clothes. Oh, no, Meghan and Harry.
Meghan and Harry. And this dog had a diaper on, which unclear if it had its period or it just made accidents, and it had a little tail, like a hole for its tail. And I said, wow, you know, that's just like something I'm not willing to do. And that being said, I just got a cat and I'm scooping up the cat poop,
the litter box.
Not willing to do the dog
I mean,
diaper.
I want to know, like,
holy shit, I just had my first week with a litter box.
Rough. I mean,
well, the dog's eating the litter box poo, so it's it's nasty. I know. And Shasta will come out and she'll have the litter box, like crap, the litter all over her wet nose. She's just like, didn't do it.
Animals.
Oh, and the cat.
They'll figure it out.
Yeah, the cat has diarrhea.
Oh.
They're going to figure it. And you know what? It's like the circle of life, to quote Elton John.
Totally. All right. So that was our recap. And should we tell the people that we are going to start our Patreon again? Like, Deanna's going through it right now.
I'm at the tail end, and I just kind of need maybe a week or two to start.
So what we're going to do is we're going to set a timer for 30 minutes and we're going to just talk all.
Yes, that has to, because we could go on and on about
hours.
Pop culture.
But in those 30 minutes, we're just going to talk everything top of mind. Bravo, Housewives, pop culture, everything, so that and we're going to put those up on our Patreon so that we can hopefully get some patrons. So stay tuned for more announcements about that in the coming weeks.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, we're just waiting for season 2 of Family Karma, but we're going to say April.
And we're waiting for spring. And you know what? I've texted you, but I have Miami's weather on my weather docket on my iPhone. And they better be enjoying that Miami weather, because it has been shitty weather in Colorado.
Crazy. I talked to my oldest brother today, and he was like, yeah, we went to Miami for the weekend.
I mean, the way people are traveling.
Him and his partner are vaccinated. So they were like, we're going on a trip. They went to Miami. And I was like, that's where Family Karma is based. And on Instagram, it just looks like it just looks normal, And he was like, yeah, you would not know that COVID was happening if you just were dropped in Miami and didn't know that there was a global pandemic. You would never know. And he said part of it he thinks is because or I said this, but he said everything was outside because the weather's so good. So
right,
having dinner outside is
oh my God, I couldn't imagine having dinner outside right now. That sounds so luxurious.
As soon as we're able to do that, we are going to be doing that, and we'll take selfies and put them on Instagram.
And maybe we'll record outside, and yeah.
So we have great things to come in the coming weeks. We're interviewing Sangeeta Patel, who is a HGTV Canada star.
And she's also an Canada correspondent.
Oh, nice. So yeah, that's going to be up next week. We're going to have other things. Please DM us if you have things that you want us to cover. I think we're going to read Priyanka Chopra's autobiography or memoir.
Oh yeah, we are.
And I want to watch the movie White Tiger, which has been on Netflix now for a few weeks.
We're just catching up, folks. We're catching up. And do send us recommendations, because we want to cover things that you like too. 100%.
I think that's it.
Yeah. Well, it was nice hanging out with you, Indra.
I know, it was nice hanging out with you too. And we'll see the rest of you Karma fam next time. So namaste, bitches.
Namaste, bitches.